Imagine a group of people caught between two worlds. That was the story of the Samaritans. They lived in Samaria, the land between Judea in the south and Galilee in the north. They believed in the God of Israel just like the Jews. But things were different for the Samaritans. They had their own unique traditions and ways of worshipping God. They even had their own holy book, similar to the Jewish Torah. The Samaritans were often seen as outsiders by the Jews. They were a mixed people, descended from Israelites who intermarried with other groups. This made them different in the eyes of many Jews. Sadly, the relationship between Jews and Samaritans was marked by deep-seated prejudice. It went back centuries. The two groups had different religious practices and interpretations of their shared history. One major point of contention was the place of worship. Jews considered the temple in Jerusalem to be the only true temple. Samaritans, on the other hand, worshipped God on Mount Gerizim. This difference fueled tension and mistrust between the two groups. Into this divided world stepped Jesus. He was a Jewish rabbi who preached love, forgiveness, and radical acceptance. He saw beyond religious and cultural barriers. He saw the heart. Jesus didn't shy away from interacting with Samaritans. In fact, he often went out of his way to reach out to them. He saw them not as outsiders, but as children of God, deserving of his love and compassion. This was completely unexpected. Jewish religious leaders of that time generally avoided any contact with Samaritans, but Jesus was different. He came to break down walls of division, not build them up. One of Jesus' most famous stories involved a Samaritan. It's the parable of the Good Samaritan. In this story, a Jewish man is robbed, beaten, and left for dead on the side of the road. A priest and a Levite, both religious figures, pass by the injured man. They do nothing to help him. Then, a Samaritan comes along. He sees the man suffering and is moved with compassion. He stops to help, tending to his wounds and taking him to safety. Jesus used this story to challenge the prejudices of his listeners. He showed them that true love knows no boundaries. It's about caring for those in need, regardless of their background or beliefs. Another powerful encounter took place at a well in Samaria. Jesus met a Samaritan woman who had been ostracized by her own community. She was surprised that Jesus, a Jewish man, would even speak to her. Jesus, however, saw her thirst for acceptance and spiritual truth. He engaged her in conversation, offering her living water, a symbol of eternal life. The woman was deeply touched by Jesus' compassion and acceptance. This encounter shows us that Jesus looked beyond social and religious barriers. He saw the inherent worth and dignity of every individual, regardless of their past or their social standing.